Good evening, Trinidad and Tobago, and across the globe. Welcome to Real Talk Corner. Hadassa, how are you?
Hi, I am fine, thank you. How are you, Esther? Good evening, everybody. This is Real Talk Corner, where conversation sparks change and every voice matter. And I'm your host, Dr. Esther Cruickshank. And you know what? My co-host is coming on tonight shortly. So I'm feeling happy on this beautiful Tuesday. Hello, it's the fourth day in the month of December in the year 2025. Hey, 2025 is going, it's going. We are saying goodbye to 2025. You know what? To all my viewers, welcome, welcome. Yes, I'm still hearing the music and I want to dance, you know, that kind of thing. It's the last month in the year 2025, and I hope you all had a good day. Today was a bit rainy. I trust that nobody experienced any floods and all those kind of things. But you know, it was a great day. It was cool. It wasn't too hot, and I appreciate and love when it's that cool. But I know it can't be that way all the time. So welcome, welcome to all our viewers, Real Talk Corner viewers, and all of you who are going to tune on later on, or catch us tomorrow, whenever it's going to be. I want to say happy December month to all of you. I am happy this evening. I'm feeling happy. The joy of the Lord is my strength. And of course, I have the breath of God in my lungs. So that is something to be happy and thankful for. Yeah, thankful for. A lot is happening in our country, but I believe all of this is to bring change. Yeah, we want to change. We get in change. And for some people, they may not appreciate what is taking place. But at the end of the day, in the long run, it's going to benefit every citizen of Trinidad and Tobago. But before we go on further, I want to say condolences to the family of our dear sister Daphne Phillips, who has been a devoted UNC supporter and I used to look at this woman come in on a wheelchair, sitting whatever it takes. She used to be at all of our meetings as much as she could have been. And, she had a great legacy that she have left behind. So we say hats off to Daphne Phillips, who has gone on to the other side. But we want to send our condolences to her loved ones, her family, and also to the UNC family, because we're going to miss her. I know our Prime Minister is going to miss her as well, and those of you who have been close to her. So, she's in a better place. She don't have to be worried about anything again. She's going to rest in peace, yes. So, rest in peace, my sister. Keep that smile going for us, listen, as long as we are born, there is going to be death. We didn't come here to turn stone, and there are times and seasons. There are time to be born, and there is time to die. And she has gone on, and we thank God for her legacy. Thank God for the life that she lived, the example that she set, and the hard work that she did deliver to this country, Trinidad and Tobago. So again, condolences to all of her family and loved ones. But there is much more for us to talk about this evening. I like to wait on my co-host. She does kind of spew up the thing, yeah. But I have something that I wanted. I was looking at a clip and I saw MP Brian Manning talking about Trinidad has become the wild, wild west. And I think there are people who responded to him, right? But I want to tell him here has become the wild, wild west long time. It is not now. And it is the PNM who turn it into the wild, wild west in every aspect of our society. It is the PNM under the Keith Rowley regime has caused this place to become the wild, wild west. What it said here, Brian Manning makes the most, we don't say nothing here these days. You're getting what you call it? React, reaction protocol. Boy, these people, this opposition we have, first it was the government for a decade. They were the government for a decade. They bring this country down to nothing, chaos and destruction. And now they're gone because the people vote all you out. And still, all you want to do everything in all your power to keep this place the way all you had it, but it's not going to succeed because we have a great woman who is the honorable prime minister of this country. Yeah, a great woman, a woman of compassion, a woman who loves her country, love her people. It is not going to remain the way you all left it. Sad to say, yes, the great honorable Kamala Prasad Bisesa, SCMP, the boss. She is the boss, and she is doing what is needed for this country to go forward. You know what? The latest I heard, producer, you heard about the pharmaceutical 80, how much, boy? $80 million of drugs wasted, expired, spoiled, and people paying so much money for drugs. Did the former minister of health start to cry when he heard about it? He didn't cry. Oh, I thought I didn't see anything because he loved to cry for these sensitive kind of disruptive kind of behavioral pattern that through him and the PNM has brought onto our country. $80 million, you know what that could have done for our people, our citizens? Come on, man. This is what the PNM is all about. If we can't get it right, we have to get it right. All you need to understand, the decade of that PNM regime has brought us to the most wasted, destructive society. And now they want to be talking. Boy, I mean, everybody have their rights to talk, eh? But when you hear these people who was in power talk, it really does send a chill through your backbone, down your spine, because like you just want to hold somebody and tell them what foolishness they did. But our prime minister promised to reduce drugs, pharmaceutical drugs. She promised to stop the monopoly. It is so shameful what has become of our nation. $80 million of drugs for the people who sick and needed it, for people who can't afford to buy the drugs. Look at that. But she's going to reduce the prices. Citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, don't be worried. Don't worry about a thing. Everything is going to be all right. Yeah, even if you're going through a little hardship right now, everything is going to get better. You ain't going through the hardship because of our wonderful, beautiful boss lady, the prime minister, the honorable prime minister. We ain't going through hardship because of her and the UNC, We're going through this hardship right now, which I know we're going to get out of because of the PNM, because of the cult called the PNM. That's why we're going through what we're going through. Recklessness. They live, I mean, when you listen, I doesn't want to listen to like Stuart and them talk. Just watching them, you just get vexed. You understand? Because you all sat down and play with people money, take it and do whatever all they had to do with it, right? Without servicing and serving the people who needed it the most in society. I know everything the UNC do, all you want to talk about it. All you want to talk about it. You all have a penniless cent as all your leader. Penniless, clueless person who I mean, people just make errors, yes. But you can't be in parliament and making the kind of errors you just make. You understand? We're not going to talk about that again because we talk about it on Tuesday. We have many other things we want to talk about. A decade of chaos and destruction. Hey, they want to talk about TSTT, WASA, T&Tech, UTT, CAL, Petrotrin. And as I say Petrotrin, oh gosh, I must big up my colleague, Dr. Munilal, and Minister Tizan. We must big them up. Petrotrin is right around the corner. It's going to be started. And that is what? About 6,000 or more people that is going to be employed. Even more than that, because all the contractors and all the people who used to do their service, carry, sell their stuff, whatever, was salespeople to Petrotrin will have a little hope again. Well, some of them probably they're gone. I don't know if they have any company again, but we know that people is going to be able to have something to do. So a little more patience. I keep talking about it, and then people keep saying when. I say hello. It's looking as though we're here for 5 years, but it's not even a year. You understand the pressure all you take under the PNM for a whole decade, and all you was silent for most of the time. All you was silent. Look at here. Prime Minister meets with refinery reactivation committee. All right. So they're getting ready. Look at the faces. They're getting ready to get this thing rolling again so that we can have more jobs. More jobs is going to be coming on board. Getting ready. What do you all think about that? They say they were going to do this, and it is happening. It is happening. Promise is a promise that was kept, is now being realized. Yeah, they promise us that they're going to reopen, the Petrotrin, right? Promise made, promise is being kept. Soon it will be delivered. So let us not be worried. I know some of us under a little tight position, but here what? We have been under that for 10 years. You all remember? You all remember how it was? At least we still feeling the breeze, the sense of easiness in our atmosphere. You may not be able to buy all the things that you want to buy now, but a little patience. We're not telling you all that you can't eat macaroni pie and all you could get is yam. And they still couldn't get the yam because we don't know when they went for the yam, where it gone. Like it's still traveling to come to Trinidad. Yeah, it's still traveling to come to Trinidad. Well, I heard that my co-host is there, but I'm not seeing her. Hello, my beautiful co-host. It is so good to have you on. I know you're tired. But you see that smile, that bubbly face and smile, the sell you out is just make you look like you just took a shower and you took a good rest and you're revitalized. But I know the feeling. Ada Cherub, welcome to the show. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is so good to have you on board. Talk to your people, Nagil.
Thank you. Good night, everybody. Good night, Trinidad and Tobago. Special thanks to my beautiful co-host who has been holding down the fort. I literally ran away. I'm still working actually, but I really wanted to pop in to talk about the progress that we are making as a country. I have so much respect and so much confidence for our prime minister. I spoke about this the last time I was on about that sense of revitalized hope that I feel, and I feel like as a nation, that's really a good place to be. I want to say congratulations to public servants. The PSA president, of course, she never backed down. She did a really good job, Felicia Thomas, in terms of standing her ground to ensure that workers got their 10%. I was reading that they were even trying to get workers some of their back pay before Christmas. I mean, the thing about it is, what I like about this current administration is that when you put pressure on them, they don't break, they don't shy away, they don't run, they don't throw blame, they don't say hold strain. Everything is being done to make sure that all the wrongs that happened under the PNM are being corrected. Now, I am happy to see the amount of engagement that is taking place with foreign players. I know Mr. Sobers and Saddam Hussein, I know they were in the UAE recently and they were doing talks, as well as Julian John making plans in terms of having investments in Trinidad and Tobago. It's a good place to be in when the PNM did nothing for the last 10 years. Let us not forget that nothing was taking place, and the only means of getting money to fund our country was by taxing us mercilessly for everything. And we are seeing a lot of that rolled back. And I just wanted to pop in tonight to say that I'm really happy to see these things happening. As I came in, Esther was talking about Petrotrin, and she was talking about the amount of work the amount of people who will be employed again, and the trickle down effect of that, it would have been all the people who used to sell food in the environs, in the surrounding areas. It will all the contractors she spoke about. This is how you restart an economy again. This is how you breathe life back into certain areas of the country that literally fell apart because Petrotrin was shut down. And I am just really happy she is laser focused on making sure that the promises that she made are actually being delivered, which is the complete opposite of what we had under the PNM, which is why they have the moniker "promises never materialize." This is not that. Um, and yeah, it feels really, really good. Back to you, Esther.
Yes, Gail, I'm telling you, I mean, some people may say otherwise, but these are the things that has to happen to generate the type of finances we need to run the country. And I am extremely proud of our prime minister. I'm proud of that woman. Being a woman in society, she is the epitome of a great person, a great
The
woman, a
epitome.
woman
Yes,
who
yes.
has the brains and the know-how after God. Because you know what? She always talk about putting God first and walking behind. And I think, Hadassa, this is something here now, First Citizen Bank, that you would be happy about. Yesterday announced that it has rolled out Google Pay in Trinidad and Tobago, making this the
Finally.
first time the mobile payment service is available locally. I mean, look how long we were trying to get these things in place, and we could not, you know, you have to run into the bank first. First time, I mean, when you travel abroad, you can pay, you have Google Pay and other things that you can use. But I am so happy.
Yeah.
And to pay, to make countless payments through Android phones and other compatible smart devices. It allows customers to load their First Citizens credit or prepaid cards into a digital wallet and to pay in stores and apps or online. This is, I give them a hand clap for that, because listen, this is going to make such a difference, especially with the small businesses in Trinidad and Tobago. This is excellent. I mean, I am so grateful for seeing this and for knowing that this is taking place
Exactly.
in our country, because we have tried.
I mean,
We have tried so much. Yeah, so
we are
this is
playing
great.
catch up. Let's not forget, we are playing catch up. This is commonplace in a lot of other places in a lot of other countries. There seem to be a deliberate effort to keep our country backwards, and with everything that has happened since the UNT came in on the 20th of April, it has been a massive push in terms of modernizing payments, in terms of making these
Yes.
things easier, in terms of removing the frustrations that citizens had to endure, yeah, having to leave your house to go to a government office to do things that could easily be done online. And one more thing I wanted to mention, Esther, which made me really very happy. I don't know how everybody feels about it, but the expanding of the limit in terms of the age of cars that could be brought in. I saw that there was a young man, I think he works at Lifestyle Motors, and he was so against it, right? Because I think they recognize that ordinary citizens would now be able to go and get a vehicle and it will be affordable. And he was saying, oh, you could just get a loan for $275,000 from the bank for 7 years. And he said it as if he does not understand that there are a lot of people who cannot afford that.
Cannot.
It was
That's
so
right.
insensitive. And this is such a great initiative. There are a lot of young people who want to start a business, they need a vehicle. This is going to be such a great way for people to get their foot in the door, to lower the playing field, to help parents who have one or two kids and they need to get them to school in the morning. I really believe Kamala Prasad Visasa is a prime minister for the people. The PNM govern the country from the top down. Everything they did was to facilitate the rich and the 1%. And she is working in the other direction, making sure that the needs of the people on the lowest rungs of society are met, right? And building from there. And that is what we have been wanting to see. And I'm really happy about that.
And not only wanted, that is what we need, because a lot of the people on the ground cannot afford a lot of the things that they would like to afford. They cannot. Okay, so she is reaching out to the people who need it the most. And this is why we have to congratulate her and her team, congratulate her over and over. And some people may say, we keep talking about the prime minister, but it's her. It is because of her things are happening in this country. Some of them are benefiting from it and they're still complaining. They still have the worst to say. But I am here to say, thank you, our
Yes.
Honorable Prime Minister, Mrs. Kamala Prasad Visesa. Thank you for being,
Yes.
having the heart to meet the needs of the people who need it the most. Thank you so very much. I heard somebody was talking about Junior Sammy, saying that the economic has slowed down. The economy has slowed down, and things is not as before. So they're going to be either rotating workers, and I mean, I applaud them for that. He didn't just send home persons. They have been given, probably you get a day in, a day out, as the case may be. And this is not the first time I've heard of that. All right, because of what they do, there are times when you have to do that in order, instead of sending home workers, what you can do is do a shift system. Give, if you have four workers or five, two work 2 days and the other two work two, whatever. We have to learn to be, we have to use our initiative, and not because things may not go the way you want it to go, just send everybody home. We have business people have to do better than that. All right. When I
Yeah.
heard that, I said that was good, even though I think they say they may have to send some home at the end of January or something to that to that thought. But at least they are working with the people, and they are giving them, whether it's a day in, a day out, or 2 days in, so that everybody could get something to put on their table. It's not an easy journey right now, Hadassa. The road is rocky. All right. We came in and we met a economy that is rocky. This is why you remember Bert and them keep saying, where's she getting the money from? Where's she getting the money from?
Yes.
Because they very well knew that they leave the place half empty, well, almost empty, not half. And they also knew where they would have gotten the money from and have this country in a whole lot of debt. Because right now it is still in a whole lot of debt. Every ministry, every government agency has been crying out. I am telling you, all the boards that has been elected or appointed could tell you what is happening in these ministries. It's chaotic. All right. And our prime minister has to take on, I mean, she took on this burden before already, when we won in 2010, took on this burden, you understand, having to turn around the economy. And we are so foolish. We went and put back the PNM. And look what we did. We put them back. And I'm not saying everybody is foolish, but those of us who couldn't see and take the, what is called it, the tune up, or the, how does call it, young people, the chain
Chain
up,
up.
take the chain up, and go back and vote the PNM and vote them back again in 2020, because of COVID-19 pandemic. Listen, that was the biggest mistake we make. And I said it, around that time. I said, if we make the mistake and put back the PNM there, we would eat the bread the devil need and what he don't need. And
And
we have
so we did.
seen it come to pass.
Esther, I have a slightly different take on the Junior Sammy thing. Um, I feel like a lot of people forget that some industries, we have entire industries and companies that have been built on getting contracts from the government, right? And everybody knows that we infamously have roads that are paved that in a couple months again need to be fixed again, right? This is what I'm talking about, where we are rebuilding from the ground up. There's a lot of restructuring that needs to take place. And while I definitely feel for the company and the employees that are affected by it, this also means that we have to take a closer look of how contracts are distributed, and then also to make sure that when these contracts are given out, that the work is done properly, that when we have roads that are laid down and paved, that we can get at least 10 years from it. It is not normal to be paving roads every year. So I feel like this would incentivize these contractors, that when they do get work, that they will do a better job, and we as the taxpayers would be getting more value for our money. I don't know what you think about that.
I hear you, but I am telling you that will never happen. Whether the past government, because it's people, it's human beings you're dealing with, Hadassa. So when they get the contract, yes, we are expected to do due diligence and ensure that things are done properly, but they will not. That is the mentality of the people. They will take the contract, and it might last a little longer than the contractors who had it under the PNM, but I guarantee you, it ain't lasting 5 years. Trust me, because this is the mentality of the people. Unless we, the people, make a change, it will continue to be that way. What I know may be happening is that those monopoly in the construction field
Yes.
may not get what they were getting before, because you find that they want to filter it also to the smaller contractors and spread it out. So not just one or two contractors getting it, but everybody got to get something so that they can provide for themselves and their family. So that may be the case. If he was getting 50 contract, he may now just get 10, so that others could get, as
Yeah.
it may well be. But listen, it ain't gonna change, because I listen to people talk. I listen to people on the ground. I used to be upset about it. They now pave the road, they now do whatever, and in 2 2s you're seeing a big hole again.
Yeah.
You're seeing big holes again. So I mean, this is what it is. We would love it to be different. When they pave it, they do a proper job, and it lasts you at least 5 years. But that's not going to happen. Trust me, I'm telling you. Being on the ground, listening to people talk, listening to how these people operate, they're not going to do it like that at all. It is like, long time you buy what I could talk about. You buy a utensil or something, and it will last you forever. Let's talk about the blenders. Heavy, solid as a rock, and it's working forever. It wouldn't spoil. Now you buy these things, they give you 3 months warranty, and after some time, as the 3 months up, it's because it's spoiled. You understand? So this is the world we're living in. This is the society with a very few of us who are, willing to do things correctly, or do it in a way that it is going to last, within a good time, but nothing lasting forever. You remember when when mobile phones came out, how long you had these big old phones working real good? Now, let me
Yeah.
tell you, by the time you're buying, excuse me, these expensive phones, by 3 years' time, it'll start to act up. Mean, go and buy a next one. And you're paying thousands of dollars for it. So this is society today, all over the world. Nothing is lasting forever, right? So we have to get ourselves into that frame of mind that it's not going to last forever. It ain't
I
gonna
don't know.
change. It ain't gonna
I think
change.
we need to have some checks and balances, ma'am. You saw what the president of Guyana did. He had stopped all the work that was going on by contractors, and he said, "Look, if you cannot finish the work on time, if you cannot do it properly, you will not be getting any contracts." And
Won't
bet
get
your
any
bottom
more.
dollar, everybody straighten up. The work is being done on time, because he said if there are any overruns in the time, you have to pay for it out of your pocket, right? And then once the work is done and it's inspected, if the work is not up to par as well, you're not getting paid. So I feel that there are ways to put checks and balances. I feel like if we have the will to do it, that I would like to see that, so that our money is not just jumping up. But yeah, so that was just my take on the on that situation. That I feel like we just need to be, I think definitely what you said about being more equitable, to make sure that contracts will also trickle down to smaller persons, but also make sure that when you get one, that you do a good job.
No, I definitely agree. but I am talking on the basis of hearing people talk, listening to
Yeah.
people, looking at their behavior, their mindset, how they operate. Boy, you have to be extremely strong and you have to really put things in place. So, like the president you talk about, if you don't do it properly, you're not getting any more. And if anything go wrong and it have overruns, you have to pay for it. You're not getting any more
Yes.
money. So, I totally agree with that. I would love to see that happen. And it's not that it may not happen, but the time it may take, it may not be in the next 5 years. Nevertheless, we are grateful and we are hopeful that things is going to get better. Now, I want to talk about the home invasion bill that was passed. Now,
Uh,
we know what politics is all about. We know that when you're in the opposition, you may not support the government. But I know for a fact under the UNC, once it is something good for our citizens and for the nation, they would have supported it. Just imagine we have a bill called the Home Invasion Bill that the PNM, the opposition, did not support at all. Think about it. If these citizens of Trinidad and Tobago think that these people on the opposite side really care about them, when they were in power, they did not care. And now they're in opposition, they still do not care. You're trying to tell me an important bill like this, where a lot of people are losing their lives innocently because these criminal minded people, young people, are going into people's home to thief and to kill, and they would not support the bill. This have to be madness. You can't believe that the PNM, the opposition, cares anything about our citizens. They don't care anything about them, because if they are told they care about themselves, because they have security. Okay? They have security to protect them. And those who don't have, they go figure out what they have to do. They have enough money in their pocket now. But if they really cared about the citizens of this country, look how many home invasions have been taking place. How many people have been losing their life. And you're trying to tell me that they could not support this bill? I understand there are other bills that they may not want to support, but something that is as important as this bill, they decline supporting it. They are a bunch of hypocrites. They are a bunch of real evil, wicked people. They don't care about the citizens. They don't care about their neighbors. They don't care about the people of this country, or else they would have supported this bill. And that's not what you say.
well, I want to ask, when was the last time anybody heard about a school fight? That is a thing of the past, right? And it simply meant that the UNC came in and they said they are having a no tolerance policy on children fighting in school, and they placed police officers in the different schools and things like that. And I can't remember the last time I saw or I heard. And if there are incidences, there are definitely fewer. The PNM is not going to support the home invasion bill. They cannot support it because they need to save face. And that is more important than what is actually the best thing for the citizens. They cannot support it because it would mean that for the last 10 years, they would be admitting that they failed. They would be admitting that they did nothing to help citizens. They would be admitting that they allowed crime to run rampant. I am not surprised, and I don't expect anything else. I mean, I thank God that we have the majority and that the bill will pass anyway, but I don't expect anything from the PNM except for the PNM to be the PNM. Disappointing as it is, but I feel like this is the reality that we have come to know and we have come to expect. If they had cared years ago, when there was a petition for them to review citizens being able to own firearms to protect themselves, and when we asked that women be able to have uh, pepper spray and different things. There
Mhm.
were certain things that we laid out. If they had cared, they would have moved then to make sure that women felt safer, to ensure that citizens felt safer, to ensure that persons who are doing private hire, that they go through these certain vetting to make sure that you would be safe in these vehicles. If they had cared, all the cameras would have been working. If they had cared about national security, they would have been putting all the measures in place that are being instituted now. So no, they don't care, and I don't expect them to do anything else. And they have to oppose it, because I guess one, they are the opposition, but also they really need to I just show a force of, I don't know, this not making sense or whatnot. I guess they need to operate in their function of being the opposition. But the thing, what is most glaring, is that people can see that they just chose to let crime run rampant in the country, to let 5,000 people be killed over 10 years, and to let the crime rate go up, and to have people living in fear. Yeah, they made certain choices. It does not affect them. But again, I come right back to the fact that I keep saying that Kamala Prasad Pisesa is not acting on what is best for the 1%. She's acting on what is the best for the small man. And you have every right, if you're renting, if you bought a home, whatever, you have every right to feel safe in your home, and you have every right to protect yourself if worse happen, somebody was made your home.
Indeed, and definitely, we have every right to be able to even be in our communities and feel safe, not just in your home. Wherever you go, you ought to be feeling safe. But under the PNM, that wasn't the matter at all. And here you have, under the UNC government, you're feeling much safer. You are still hearing of criminal activities, and I believe a lot of it, if not more than 50% of it, is gang related, or is people who are involved in certain things, because when they do their investigation, is because you realize that they're involved in nonsense. And then you have the case, the genuine ones that not involved, but they lose their lives because of these criminal minded persons, or whatever we want to call them. But really and truly, everything that this government has done within the last 7 months, the PNM has objected, only because they have failed, and they know that. So they want
Yeah, they failed.
our government to look as though we are failing, but we are not failing. And I am thankful that we have enough persons to vote to be able to pass the bill without any one of them supporting it. When we talk about noise pollution, everybody start bumping up on the government, talking a whole lot of nonsense, and talking about carnival. Carnival is culture. Culture is not fat. Culture is not fat. It is culture. So that has nothing to do with our carnival and culture. And normally when you go to, what do you call it, the Kaiso tents and these different things, that people, the older people, appreciate, which the younger people needs to know about. You don't be there longer than 10:30, or sometimes if it's 12 o'clock, but it's not a noise pollution where it's humbling people from sleeping or resting, as the case may be.
Yes.
But when you have these fat, it's a whole set of noise for the whole night until in the morning. People doesn't like, they don't want to go home until they see the sunrise. I mean, of course, UNC represent the rising of the sun, but this can't be it. You understand? So when
Ah,
they talk about it, noise pollution, people have been complaining about this over the years,
for
but the
years,
PNM
yes.
had no regards for the senior citizens, for the
No.
little children, the babies,
As I
whatever.
say,
Somebody talk.
once the one
It's
percent making money, they did not care.
that's it. You understand? Once they are making money and they could pocket themselves comfortably, they don't care. So all these things that she is putting in place is for the small man, the one who are voiceless, who the PNM haven't been listening to, who they don't care about. And it's not going to affect, who it's really going to affect? Those people just had a big fat and don't care about nobody. They're parking up all in front of your gateway. They don't put things in place. Those are the people who feel in it. You understand? And I really don't care about it, because I find it too ridiculous. These people come out for the fete and they're parking in front of your gate. They're parking, they're blocking up the road. It's all kind of chaotic situation. And I know even that our prime minister is going to address in time to come. They're going to get locations that is probably in country area, in areas that is forested, that
would not
people not
affect
living close
anybody.
by
Yes.
and build the facility soundproof or some kind of thing. And I mean, sometimes I just say, but the party, the fete is like 10 miles away or more, and you
Yeah.
actually hearing that boom boom inside of your house. What it is,
Yes.
what it is they
As
want. You don't have to play your music so loud, even that the PNM is against. Because they're wicked and evil, they don't care about people.
as the in the last couple of months, we have sound more and more like a first world country than we have in our entire history, right? Um, I don't know why the PNM insisted that they wanted us to be an unruly barbaric nation, but in the last couple of months, we have talked about protecting animals. We have talked about the environment. We have talked about noise pollution, and these are important issues that you need to address if you need to take us further. I want to know what Keith Scotland meant when he stood up in Parliament and said that the home invasion bill would affect his is an attack on his constituents. Is he saying that the constituents of Port of Spain South and the different areas, those are the invaders?
You know
This is
why?
the ridiculousness. This
You
is the
know why?
ridiculousness.
You don't know
Why?
why? Because it's the people from that constituency that just go and do the home invasion crime. That is why
But this is what I'm
it would
saying.
affect them. It had
But
to
as I'm
be.
saying, so you are standing up for the right of your constituents to terrorize and invade people's homes. They just need to find any reason to push back. But what I wanted to
Any
say
stupid,
on the
senseless reason.
yes, on the noise pollution issue is that this is something that, like you said, we have been talking about it for years. People have been complaining, and we are a country that we have gotten so selfish, right? So this usually affects persons who don't play mass or they don't go fets and whatnot. And Trinidad has become a country where if you don't play mass, you need to be bombarded in your home with noise and whatnot, and uh, and feel uncomfortable because there are other people who don't care about you. And the prime minister is just saying that it is very important that we strike the balance between culture and taking care of our communities. This is what it means to govern in a humane way. The residents of Woodbrook, for example, have been complaining for years about what it means for all the bands to be passing so close and the fete so late and people peeing on their walls and the stench of urine that they have to wash down after the carnival season is over. For years and years and years, and the PNM did nothing about it. It is time for us to start making these changes. And another thing I wanted to say, all the laws that we as a society enjoy now, at one point they sounded ridiculous, and at one point it seemed like it was an inconvenience. It was as early as what, 1990, as recent as 1990, where in America they passed the law where domestic violence became a crime. Before that, it was okay, you could have beat up your wife, police would come and they would ask the woman what she did and things like that. When they talk about children should not be getting married when they are under the age of 18. All these were laws that had to come into place as we evolved and we became better and more conscientious as society. So yes, growing pains are going to happen. If we are accustomed to doing our carnival a certain way, not considering other persons, now we are saying we cannot do that anymore. And in 5 years from now, nobody is ever going to remember how it used to be when carnival just used to be a nuisance for the persons who don't participate, because we would have moved into a place where we now have laws and we now have policies to govern our culture. This is about progress, right? And I last thing I wanted to say, sorry to be so long-winded, but the people who are complaining the most are the people who did not vote for the UNC. And I don't expect them to ever be happy because the PNM campaigned for different things. But the persons who supported the UNC and seeing all the campaign promises come into materialize, we are very happy because these are the things that we wanted to see happen in our country. These are the type of conscientious progress that we wanted to make, and we are very happy. And that is the game of politics. Some people are not going to be happy, and some people are going to be very happy because we, the mandate that we gave the government, they are actually meeting it. Back to you, Esther.
Indeed, I totally agree with you. Everybody's not going to be happy. And of course, those people who cannot see beyond where they're seeing and they're supporting the PNM, they have a different agenda. But the people, when you ask for change, I don't know if they think you bring in a different government saying that you want change. And when you get change, you have a problem with it. They don't know, people don't know how to make up their minds. You want change, things are not going to be the same. And in a developing country, there must be change in order for things to happen. Okay? So you want change, but then you're complaining when change starts to take place. And of course, everybody is not going to be happy with the changes that is being made. But like you said, in the long run, people would have forgotten about it. Because, I mean, those of us who really wanted change, we are seeing change taking place and we are happy about it. But those who were okay with what the PNM was doing, and they're able to make the noise and they're able to kill people without being caught and all of that, they don't want this change now because things are being stiffened, are being, in a different direction. For instance,
Yes.
I heard someone talking about tomorrow, please God, in Parliament, there are going to be a lot of taxes and a lot of this. And I were made to understand that reckless driving is going to have higher penalties. And I support that because I don't know how often you drive on the road, but people are driving very recklessly. And I saw a couple days ago, this person was driving so bad. He did not bounce the person, but you know what? He allowed a vehicle to run off the road because of
Oh,
how
wow.
he is driving. And what they don't understand that there are senior citizens who are driving as well, and their reflexes may not be as good as you who are a younger person. So you have to take into consideration that you're not driving for yourself, you're driving for others. You're supposed to drive for others as well. Everybody reflexes is not as grappling as yours. So you don't behave like that on the road. They go zigzagging in. And I mean, sometimes I do it too, but you have to do it cautiously. You can't be just in and out like 100 miles per hour and you just in and out. You're going to cause people to run off the road or to hit somebody or to get themselves in problems. All right. So I certainly agree with higher penalties for reckless driving and driving under the influence of alcohol and all these kind of things. They hit you. Just imagine a gentleman touched my vehicle. I was parked and he's trying to tell me I was parked in the wrong place. So because I was parked in the wrong place on the road, you were entitled to hit me. And then you know what? Up to now, the insurance haven't solved it. I had to pay 5,000 more on my policy, my insurance. And I didn't touch you. I stopped because I wanted to make a particular turn. And then I realized I could not have gone there. So I stopped. All right. Everybody was at a stop. You driving out and you cannot average your vehicle. You touch my fender and telling me I was wrong and I wasn't driving. I had a witness in my vehicle. All right. But I didn't touch your vehicle. I was parked. I was in a parked position. I wasn't moving. You were the one trying to, that's to show you, they can't even drive. You understand? And touch my
Yeah.
vehicle. And then with the insurance, that is our next, I don't know what kind of corruption you call that. But to me, it
Scam.
is just not fair. You understand? You're paying your full comprehensive and you this and that, and you can't. I had to pay more money. I wonder if he had to pay more money too. So these are the things we
Wow.
are talking about, and these things must change. There are things in this society that has to change, and if they voted for change, you don't expect it to be the same thing. It's like for the budget, is the budget, yeah, the how they call it, after they read the budget, you have the opposition. How do you call that again? It just slipped in my mind. The following week after the budget is read, the opposition get their time debate, the budget debate. Lord
Debate.
Jesus, my brain like it tired. The
It,
PNM opposition want to tell the government how things should be done. So when they question the ministers, and the minister respond to them, it's like, no, no, it can't be so, or no, no, it can't be this. Who the hell is you all to tell them what it's supposed to be and how it could be and how it cannot be? That is not all your prerogative. You all are in the opposition. The government is presenting something, and this is what they're going to do. You all are not in government and want to give advice and want to this and shut up all your mouth and let the people
Yes.
do what they have to do. We want change. We don't want to hear from you all. We want to hear the government. We want to see what they're going to be doing. We want to experience what they're going to do for the citizens. And again, I am saying some of us feel, well, we suffer for 10 years and we have a new government now. In less than a year, we want magic. We want everything to happen overnight. It's not going to be like that. Even with the 10% with the PSA, you're hearing certain things and I don't know if they expected the government under all that is happening to pull out them billions of dollars to pay them before Christmas. They're even demanding. I mean, everybody wants money, but you can't demand if they say they're giving you 10%, 5% in cash and 5% in whatever else. Go and you negotiate whether they're paying your mortgage, they're helping with bonds, whatever it is. Go and you negotiate. It's like they want to bully the government. But I know our prime minister is not going to take bully from nobody. All right. They have to wait. They have to wait. You're all going to get your stuff. I can't remember the prime minister and the ministers saying, you're going to get 10%, but you're getting it before Christmas. I can't remember that. They're going to give you 10%. How it's going to be done, excuse me, that is a matter for them to discuss. But it is a trend, everybody, they want everything now. They want it before Christmas. They want this, they want, hello, all you have to have patience and you all have to wait. You have to wait. You can't be getting on. They didn't get on like that with the PNM. They shut them out, they put a tail between their legs and they stay quiet. And it was like a time bomb ticking. They're waiting to vote them out to put the UNC to get on the same way, to get on this way. It wasn't the same way because they were quiet under the PNM. But under the UNC,
Yes.
all you want to make a set of noise and hallelujah. No, it's going to happen. Our prime minister is going to fix it. But you all have to wait. You have to have patience. As a matter of fact, giving all your less money might save all your skin from down the road some kind of destruction because you all need to save your money. When you get the rest, whether it's in bond, whether you could put it towards your mortgage, you all need to negotiate and find out what could happen. But though everything is, the prime minister says so, and they say UNC win, everybody win. Everybody have been winning as far as I can see. So you all have to have some patience and you all have to wait. You don't have to go and spend out your money for the Christmas holidays. As a matter of fact, is the 1% all you're giving all your money to wash, take down all your curtains, clean the windows, wash it and put it back up. That is what you all have to do. You don't have to go on and spend money. Don't waste your money buying a set of old toys and all them things. In seconds, as the children get it, it mash up. Buy a book, go and get a book somewhere and give it to them. Buy less food. Some of you buy things to waste. If you don't eat cake for one Christmas holiday, you will die. I mean, I don't want to dictate what you should and shouldn't eat, but I'm just saying you all don't need to hang your hat where your hand cannot reach. Okay? You cannot bully the government to give you any 10% before Christmas. The whole point about it, it's a negotiating stage. You all are going to get it. How are you going to get it? It's not my prerogative. But you all need to be more relaxed, stay calm, and stop being so anxious for nothing. The prime minister is doing her very best, and her best is good, is very, very good. What more do you all want? I am almost certain if the PNM was still in power, some of you all might, I don't know, all they would have been bawling, might have been on the street protesting and the police holding all you and throwing what gas, whatever over you all. They didn't care about you all. So come on, people. You all need to be a little more conscious of the realities that is facing us today. And the realities are this government is doing everything in their power to make sure that we have food on our tables, we have clothes on our back, and we are not frightened to stay in our house or to walk on the street. They're trying to protect us, not like the former government and former security ministers who were saying it is not their job to protect the citizens. Come on, man, you all need to think. You all need to think. Don't behave like rebels. All you need to think, all you need to sit down and evaluate what is happening, what took place in the last decade and what is happening now, and see that it is getting better. It can't happen overnight. And don't care what our prime minister do, she would not be able to please everybody, because we have some people that are very greedy and they're reckless and they don't care about nobody else but themselves. So our time has gone, and I just want to encourage us to continue to be strong, to be vigilant, to be patient, and to know that all is going to be well for all of us. Look at the laptops. The laptops reached Tunapuna. It was in
Yes.
South, they're giving out in Tunapuna. Come on, things are happening for the better of our citizens in our community. You all just need to have patience. When Petrotrin reopens, you know what that is going to be for our country. You know
Yeah.
how much development is going to take place. You know how many citizens is going to get job. Come on, you all can see that this woman is a caring woman. She's concerned about you all. She's concerned about every one of us. I cannot say that for everybody who is in the cabinet, but I sure know that herself and there are others who are working tirelessly to make sure that our citizens are comfortable. But that's our few last words. Time is wrapping up.
No, I mean, I really like that we are getting to put a sock in PNM supporters' mouth, because I remembered when the promise was made that public service will get their 10%, and people laugh. They laughed at people because they say, "Oh, they're so stupid, oh, they're so foolish." In other words, you should have take the 4% that the PNM give you and shut up, right? They laugh, they laugh. When the UNC actually won, and the finance minister stood up and said he has been given a mandate to make sure that they get the 10%. People say, "Ha! Well, they go wait and all they go see that it ain't gonna never happen." Then they started to say, "You see," when it had the issues between Miss Thomas and the CPO, and there seemed to be some type of delay. You say, "Oh yeah, all they go wait for it, all they ain't gonna never see that 10%." Now you get the 10%. There's like, why you not giving them the money before Christmas? Trinidadians seem to be the most unpleasable bunch of people. Like, if it was me, like in this position, and I had to be working for people who are so ungrateful and so unthankful and so skeptical, I think I would have given up a long time ago. And it's probably why politics is not my forte. But again, I want to say this is what it means to be feeling very hopeful and to have confidence in your government, and to know that they're doing what is best for everybody. And it's so many persons who have been left undone for the last 10 years that it is going to take a while to get to everybody. And now that the PSA workers have gotten their monies, all these other people jumping up and saying they want, they want, they want, they want. And I expect that, because I think they recognize that this is a government where if you say, "I have a need, this is what our issue is," that it would actually be addressed. So I do expect that to happen. And I feel like it is normal for citizens to demand certain things from their government. So I actually feel like that is a good thing to see. And let's not forget, oh gosh, the last thing I wanted to say is that Kate Rowley has been speaking the most, right? When he was in government, he didn't want to talk to nobody. He was buffing reporters. Now every Friday he called in press conference to talk about all the things and how things supposed to be, all the things that he did not do. But people know that Kamala Persad is not Keith Rowley, right? And that she is actually a person who cares no matter what they say, no matter how they front. They actually know that she is dedicated and committed to performing and to bringing our country back from hell, the depths of hell. So yeah, I think that everybody would see eventually that all the promises that were made are actually going to be kept, and I'm very happy to see that. That's it for me. It's good to be here tonight.
Well, I just wanted to endorse what you said about Keith Rowley. He didn't used to want to talk. He didn't want to hear the media, but
Yeah,
he has
what is
become
that
the media
about?
now. He has become the media now because he is press conference every week. You understand? He is the
So
media
annoying.
minister. You understand? The office of the former prime minister, and then they have the next former prime minister. He just be sending out a whole set of clips and
Esther,
all kind of
all
things.
these
He always
people
talking,
who did not want to talk to
talk,
their
yeah,
constituents,
telling people
talk to the
go and all
citizens,
kind of stuff. Hello,
all of a sudden Stuart Young have a Facebook page. He talking to people every day. He want to make his comments on invasion bill. He want to make his comments on this, on that, on
everything,
Venezuela.
everything.
And before, when you could have spoken to the people, you
You then
didn't. You
used to
got
want to talk.
arrogant and you got puffed up and you never used to listen to the people. All of a sudden, you have things to say. I was like, I don't know. Go on your
Gosh,
vacation.
I don't even listen to them sometimes. Sometimes I just want to hear what they're saying because, I need to be in tune with what they're saying. But sometimes I really don't want to hear them. They didn't want to talk before. They were saying it's not
No,
everything they could talk and not this. And we know that. But how come all of a sudden all you're talking? All your name is Mr. and Mrs. Talker? Come on, man. They need to shut up. We don't really want to hear them. And listen, the same thing they want to accuse this government for, they would have done it and done worse. All right? Everything
yeah,
that we are doing and doing it progressively in a different way, they would have done it and done it worse. Right? But they just want to try to destabilize the country. They want to see people get out there and riot. That's what they want. They
yeah,
want to see people get out there and start to get on in a particular way. But I have confidence in Trinidadians and Tobagonians that they know they're not. Some people may think they're stupid, but they're not stupid. Even the ones who support the PNM, they're not stupid because a lot of them were not happy with what the PNM was doing. This is why they did not vote in, and in some cases they vote for the UNC. But I am saying nothing. Even the other workforce that coming up and talking about they want their money too and whatever, they have to wait. They cannot, and I know our prime minister is not taking bully from nobody. I just know she's not, and she said it. She's not the same woman that was prime minister before in 2010 to 2015. She's not. She's going to listen. She's going to take her time to evaluate and assess. She's going to talk with her comrades, her team, and then they would make decisions. And that is the way to go. Our prime minister don't need to feel bully or threatened or whatever by none of these people, because for a whole decade they were staying quiet, silent, like they had no tongue. They couldn't say nothing. So all you better still have no tongue, stay quiet and wait, because at least the silver lining is showing. Before you was only seeing dark clouds. So you all need to be quiet and wait. It is going to happen. You can make your comments, but don't feel that is going to cause anybody to get anxious and anxiety and run to do this and run. Do you remember the story? I think it was in the Bible, Hadassa, the man with his son and the donkey, when he put the son on top of the donkey, I think it was with the goods and whatever, and the people was complaining, oh, the poor donkey all that weight, blah 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 blah. He took down the son. He put you remember, I can't remember the full story, but everything the man did, the people were complaining.
people had a
And this is
problem.
what we have
Yeah,
today. Everything he twisted left, right, center, turn it upside down, whatever, it was a complaint. This is what is happening with some of the people. And that is only some. Okay, we know it's going to get better. And I think that people need to start praying and asking God to help us to have the patience to wait and to continue to give our prime minister the wisdom and the know-how, the knowledge, more wisdom and know-how to continue to guide our economy the way it ought to go. And I think she is doing what I know she's doing a fabulous job. And again, I want to say congratulations and thank you to our Honorable Prime Minister. And for those of you who are supporting and who are waiting, know that your wait is not going to be in vain. Things is going to happen. Just have some patience, because the truth is the PNM have left our country in a well dilapidated state without money. But like she said, she would find the money and she is going to fix it. And that is what she's going to do. So I want to take this opportunity to thank my co-hosts, to thank my producer, my editors, everybody. They say I stop telling them thanks. So tonight I am saying thank you again. And I want to tell Trinidad and Tobago, have a great weekend. Be safe. Continue to be vigilant and know, put God in front, walk behind, and everything is going to be just fine. Goodbye. If all your